vision, my downfall is not in my view. I only look up, I will not be
You are looking live at the WBC Arena. My name is Todd Grisham, and watching this live with me is Johnny Nelson.
Looking forward to this one, Todd.
It's time for our... Here comes the pride of Roy Jones Jr., one of the greatest of all time. Pensacola. A lot of trash talk between the... And there's the bell for round one. The right hook misses. How about that time counter shot? They need to be careful they don't punch themselves out here. So it's Jones versus Calzaghe, part two. Of course, in their first encounter, Jones put Joe Calzaghe on the canvas before the Welshman got back up and put Jones out.
Joe Calzaghe, you think of fighters unbeaten. You think about standing fighters. This guy can fight for fun. That's all he does. So now we're going to do it again. And Joe Calzaghe's got it all.
Blocks the jab. Incredible work rate. Every time he throws a punch, a receipt is coming right back. This fighter has that swarmer's mentality, taking away an opponent's reach, getting on the inside and just banging and banging and banging.
You fighting a swarmer, you've got to protect everything. The body with the elbows, the head with a forearm. You've got to try and push them off balance because they will just stay in your face.
Those who thought this would be a mismatch, you are sorely wrong.
Skill for skill, tap for tap, just like a match made in heaven.
He misses with that straight left. These two fighters are made for one another. Sometimes when you're fighting a counter fighter, the rounds can get a little boring. You get trigger shy because you know if you throw a punch, one is coming right back at you.
Reaction is second to none. It's the blink of an eye, and they're waiting for any little twitch you do. So you've got to fight a counter puncher smart.
What heart, what desire, but at what cost? Catch and shoot. The only fear you have with this fighter is has he punched himself out? Despite what the judges' scorecards read, there are no losers in this one. Talk about Calzaghe in that last round. As bad as boxing judging can be sometimes, on to the second round. Last round, complete domination. Let's see what we have in store for us here.
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
Perfect counter lands. Those counter punches have to hurt. Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. His stamina is off the charts. Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. Both of these fighters have the conditioning to go the distance, no problem. They also have the power to end this with one punch. time they drop their guard, they get caught. Swing and a miss with the jab. Gotta let your hands go a little bit. It's okay to be aggressive now. Punch, counter punch. Beautiful counter punch. He threw a punch and just got countered. Good counter punch. Beautiful counter shot. Timing beats speed. Speed beats power. They exchange punches. In the early rounds of a fight, you'll see two boxers feel each other out, test each other's power, and I think this boxer has decided I can walk through anything that lands.
What a gift. What a gift it is to have a chin where you know you can walk through anything and everything. When you let those shots go and it's just bouncing up and they're walking you down, it's so demoralizing. It absolutely breaks your heart. What else can you do?
Is he going to punch himself out, though? Very close round with 10 seconds to go. Talk about Calzaghe in that last round. Well, on to the third. Coming off that fantastic last round, let's see if he can keep his momentum going.
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
Nice counter. Nice counter shot. That left-handed jab doesn't quite score. Good counter punching. So close with that uppercut. You've seen all the famous boxing movies, the training scenes, the gym work. That's what it all boils down to. Who's going to have more endurance?
What can they change?
Whoa, Johnny, out of nowhere, look at this. Oh, and Joe Calzaghe just took a heavy shot. It somehow weathered the storm.
Defense, defense, defense is everything because they got shot once, they know they can get caught again. So for now, just defense, work on defense, blocking and stopping and shooting.
Nice counter punch right up the middle. This has been a very competitive round between these two.
Perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them. More than happy.
Pride of Wales in some real trouble. Disaster averted, it seems. We continue on.
Got caught sleeping on the job. What do? You step back, steady yourself, recompose yourself.
Whoa, did you see that? Give me just a second here, Johnny. Joe Calzaghe just got rocked. Joe Calzaghe is on the canvas. And he dropped him. The perfect sniper shot. Let's watch it again one more time.
I've got to see that again.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you are
Referee this one.
Hard, he's up. I'll be surprised if he makes it back to the corner. And if he does, will he get back up on the stool again? That was a shot.
Total domination with 10 seconds to go. Talk about Calzaghe in that last round. That'll be it. Here we go in round 4. Who's going to land the first big shot? He got knocked down in the last round. Let's see what he can do here.
What a heavy knockdown. How are they going to come back from that? They staggered back to the corner. They've got to freshen them up, alert them again, get them back on point again. This round, they've got to coast around. Don't get involved. Give yourself another 3 minutes to get your head clear.
Nice defense on that jab. A lot of effort being exerted here. We've seen in the past from this fighter, they don't get concerned when they lose some of the earlier rounds because they know they've got that power that can strike at any moment.
I've seen certain fighters that can depend on just their power alone. Forget tactics. They know the second they touch you, it's done. That's where the confidence comes from.
Fantastic punch. Starting to take some deep breaths now, but still fighting hard. A very competitive round here so far.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
Don't let this fighter's speed fool you. There's some method to the madness. These are precision shots, and they're coming at lightning speed.
Having so much speed, what happens to your opponent is you get cut to ribbons, and that's where the referee has to jump in and stop the fight. And you know this is going to happen, so you rush your work. You think, I've got to get him inside close round.
And he scores with the count. Can you believe this? Joe Calzaghe in some serious trouble. It appears they're out of trouble, at least for now. But that just goes to show you one clean punch changes everything.
What recovery skills they are. What a shot it was. Completely gone. I thought there's no way he's going to finish this round. But look at that. Look at the movement. Look at the speed. Back on it. Like it never happened.
Missing with the hook. This round's still up for grabs with just 10 seconds to go. Let's talk about Calzaghe in that last round. How much cardio was put in for this fight? It may come down to that.
Because when you talk about championship material.
Get your mind back.
Time for the 5th round. Fatigue is setting in. Let's see how they handle it here in this round.
Exerted a lot of energy in the fight so far. Now they're shattered. This is what you call championship rounds.
Whoa, Johnny, take a look at this action. Roy Jones Jr. in trouble. A much better game plan here.
Now they've got to wake up. They've got to get on the back foot, clear the head a little bit, then jump back into it again. It's all about the hustle. Get back on it.
Not a lot of punch output. Thought there might be more action here. You'd like to see more jabs. In the build-up to this fight, Johnny, this power puncher told us, listen, I don't care if it's round 1 or round 12, I've got enough power and confidence to end this in one shot.
Sometimes when you get nervous, someone that's so powerful, you start thinking, you've just got to be smarter than them. You've got to be like a little faggot and pickpocket them.
Just missed with that jab. tough exchanges from both men in this round.
Perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them more than happy.
Quick punch scores. The courage on display here is incredible. What do you think of what we've seen so far from these two boxers, Johnny?
Middleweights always gives us a class. If you've got two class middleweight fighters, you are in for action. I'm quite sure right now, if you know your boxing, there's a certain fighter, Mr. I would just say marvelous, but some fighters were unbelievable middleweight.
When are we going to see a jab from these two? Nice counter shot. Every time they throw a shot, they get countered. You know the scorecards are going to be all over the place in this one. Talking about Calzaghe in that last round. I'm worried about these two fighters gassing out as this fight goes on.
There's a lot on the line here.
Focus back and get that jab.
This is the beginning of round 6. Was 1 minute enough time for them to recover after what we saw last round?
An amazing pace and tempo set in the last round. Can you keep this up? Me personally, I don't think that's possible. And if they can, their training, their conditioning would have been ridiculous, like they're in the army. But these guys, if they can keep up this pace, we are in for a great night.
Deciding to let it all hang out here in this round. Power is obviously the great equalizer in boxing, but when you know your opponent is relying on that so heavily, how do you deal with it?
Look back in the history books, some of the best fighters in the world were the middleweights. Yes, the glamour division is the heavyweights, we know. But I'm telling you now, you look right there, these guys are on it. Fast, sharp, powerful. But it hurts, and you can imagine that being you. They're the size of an average man.
Stamina is off the charts. We wanted action, and they are delivering. Tough to be a judge in this fight, as both fighters have had their big moments.
Skill for skill, tap for tap, just like a match made in heaven.
How much confidence do you build when your opponents hit you with their best shot and you walk right through it?
The middleweights are the best you can ever come across. Obviously, the glamour weight is a heavyweight, but the middleweight is the size of the average man or woman. When you get in there and you're letting the shots go, you've got power, you've got speed, you've got pace. You can stand, you can dance, you can do everything. We can look back in history. You know the amazing fights at middleweight are ridiculous. That is what writes our history books.
Going to punch himself out, though. Nice punch. Solid punch. A very competitive round with 10 seconds left. Calzaghe in that last round. You've heard the old phrase, this might come. There's the bell to start round 7. That 1 minute break surely wasn't enough for him to completely recover.
What are they doing that now? Are they trying to get an earning out? That's a lot of energy burst. They did 6 rounds in one. They're going to be absolutely shattered.
Stamina is so important for these two fighters because it allows them to use their skills throughout the match. It can all come down to who's in better shape.
Midway through the fight, if you are tired, this can be the loneliest place in the world. If you cheated, now we're going to find out.
Carries that jab away. Well done with that counter shot. Trying to land that jab. The stamina is off the charts. There's a counter shot. We both know who the bigger power puncher is. There's a significant power difference. How would you handle that?
This could be really intimidating, Todd. If you know somebody's got the punch power, someone's got the speed, it can be intimidating. Just depends on how confident you are as a fighter.
Big shots from both these fighters. Got to be careful, though.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
Putting the pedal to the metal, but has to be careful that he doesn't run out of gas. Nice defense on that right hook. Well, Johnny, as you know, there's a fine line between being aggressive and being too aggressive. One punch did the trick. Let's see it again in slow motion.
A shot from the gods took him out.
One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Are you okay?
Well, they're back up on their feet, but I'm not sure why.
Oh, he can smell blood. Look at that. He's put in round once. He knows what shot works and where to land it. Then try and do it again. He's just not got to get triggered.
So final 10 seconds of the round, and he is looking really sharp. Talk about Calzaghe in that last round. So it's plan B. And there's the bell for round 8. Got to get the momentum shift coming their way. What can they do here?
Todd, listen to me. If I knock somebody down like that round, you know this round coming out? He's getting everything, full barrel because I know his legs are gone. So this, you watch what's going to happen. If he doesn't, I'll be very, very surprised.
Swing and a miss with that hook. You can see the heavy breathing, but that's not slowing him down. Big hook. Good thing it didn't land. Endurance is becoming a factor. You can see this fighter having a hard time getting out of the way of the punches, and they're not throwing as many on their own.
Now you've got two fighters that are absolutely shattered. What gets you through? Willpower. Calm, because if you panic, you get desperate. If you get desperate, you make mistakes. If you make mistakes, you get knocked out.
This fighter expending a lot of energy in this round. Halfway through the round, I'm not sure who's winning it.
Skill for skill, tap for tap, just like a match made in heaven.
going deep into the gas tank on this round. Well, just a couple rounds left, Johnny. What's your assessment so far?
Sometimes when you have a fight, the best way to beat a fight is not give them what they want. Because they want to get you there. They want you to stand there toe-to-toe with them and have a tell. That's what they do in the gym every single day of the week. What you've got to do is you've got to frustrate them as they set their shots. Get out of the way. And they'll get so angry, so frustrated because they can't work.
And he wasn't ready for that counter punch. He needs to be careful not to punch himself out. Might want to think of holding on here for a minute. This round could go either way. 10 seconds to go. Can you believe it? Roy Jones Jr. is on the back foot now. Well, it's go back to the drawing board time. A unanimous decision victory.
They've done it before. Now they're doing it again. And look what's happened. A unanimous decision. What a way. What tactics. What a game plan. What a result.